Hey y'all, Jedi Fuka. We got another Dragonheir video. So now we have completed season 0 pretty much. There's literally nothing left to do in the game. So what I wanted to do with this video is go over what went on in season 0, what's good with it, what's bad with it. So let's just jump right in. For starters, I want to jump into this little section right here. So we got our attributes. This was a good little addition to the game. I did like it, but it does need a lot of improvement. So first of all, of course, props for trying to add this into the game and give us a little extra. The only thing that I would say is that we need to have this do more with stuff in the game. So with strength, it helps a little bit with smithing where you get some of the ore back, but I think it should also help get your ore for the type of gear you're getting. So like if you're making legendary gear and you have a high strength, you should get some of that ore back. To show, if you go in here and you go to make something with your strength, you're going to get some of this blue ore back. You'll never get this side back. I think it should help you get some of that back. That'll help improve that one a little bit. And then same thing with the others. Intelligence, that one's good for cooking. I actually like that one a lot. Good with how they have that one. Dexterity, really all of these through the end, they don't really do much other than minor checks throughout the map that honestly they just don't give you anything. So they need to figure out something to add that these will give some more depth to the game if they're gonna do this. It's nice to have, just would like to see more. The identity, it's cool, but in all honesty it doesn't matter anything either because the attributes that it helps doesn't really do much. This section, you have your, of course, main adventurer. We can use our 3 different types. I really like this. It's really good for team building. Whenever we get into some team building videos, I'll show more about that. And then this little section, we get all of our bonuses coming through here. I really like this. You slowly work it up. I played pretty hardcore all season and I was never able to fully fill it out, which does let you know in future seasons you need to make sure you prioritize which ones you want, because you may not be able to get it maxed out. It's hard to max out, but it was a good little addition because it helps boost your teams up. Now the camp, I like the cooking. I like the food in this game. It does actually help quite a bit to work on your food. It helps you when you're pushing dungeons, especially in the early game. I like how the forge works, how whenever we get material, we can get stuff back. That stuff is really cool. We get little quests that we can do at the beginning of the game. Helps you learn the game. Also gives you a little bit of resources. And also this little section, you can get resources picking stuff up in here. That's pretty nice in the camp. Now getting into the horn and the summoning. I know also a lot of community like complaining about the horn, thinking it's just a little catch that's dumb. But honestly, I really like it. So the reason why I like it is for season 0, to give you an idea of the rates. Like yes, they're super low rates, but it gets really exciting when you pull something. For this season, I have pulled a total of 4 epics out of here. 3 of them were dupes, so all I got out of it was the extra dust, or whatever you want to call it, for leveling up artifacts, but it gave me quite a bit. So I've built that up a lot. I could definitely level up more artifacts with that if I wanted to. I just don't have more epic artifacts that I want right now. And then it also gives you, when you get dupes, it gives you your stuff for the shop, so that helps out some. We can buy more artifacts, which I have 2 more from the last 2 horn pulls that gave me epics I still haven't used. And then I've gotten 1 legendary out of there. I haven't spent any legendary dust, but I did pull this legendary out of there. So the horn, it gives you a chance to get a legendary, it gives you a chance to get epics. That's amazing. I like it. Getting into the dice, I'm okay with the rates. I think based off of what I did on the test server, and we'll see for sure season 1 when I pull all of these, I think the rates are okay. Right now, just with the mercy system alone, I'm guaranteed to get 2, almost 3 if we do the they do a guaranteed 1 at 80, which I'll hit 80 by season 1, because once we get all of our rewards from endgame and stuff, I'll be at 80. They do the guaranteed, so I'll be guaranteed the 80 plus the guaranteeds at the 35, and then with a little luck, I'll get an extra few. So for 3 months, getting four or five legendaries, that's pretty good. With the purple dice, I do wish they would give us like a 1% chance to get a legendary, or 0.1% chance. I hate that it's a 0%. The rates as far as getting the epics and stuff with it, it's seems a little low, but I'm okay with it. I get it, the way the games are set up. I don't mind it because when you start pulling your gold dice, you're going to get tons of epics. So I'm okay with all the rates, other than they need to add that 1% chance to get a little extra for the players. So that's really it for the camp. We get the cart over here. The other thing with the cart, they need to make it to where this stuff you can buy multiple times, like at least once a week or something. This is like, you buy anything in the cart one time and then it's just gone. You don't come back and get it. I think this should reset. I think it's kind of pointless that you unlock all of this in the cart just to get a one-time buy. Or getting it to the map, the way the season worked. You start out, you're pushing the story. They level gated the story a lot. Some of the stuff that they gated I was okay with, some of it I wasn't. So when you play through the story, you would hit these arbitrary walls where you just can't advance the story until you do your adventure level up, which is doing this stuff right here. Doing this stuff right here. This really helped with your adventure level, and you did it every day. When you'd finish your quest, you would get a level to level and a half a day-ish, and then you can move on in the story. I didn't like that because your adventure level did not reflect your champions and champion level. I think that they should take the level gating off of the story part and just make it to where when this map is open, you can do all the story for it. However, I do like that they gated how the maps worked. We started out basically with this map is the tutorial area. Then we unlocked this map. For this map, for the first month, it was basically play through the story, and then grind some of the dungeons, get some teams going, get things leveled up. And then they added this map, and then this map was a few more harder dungeons, a few more things to try to push through, and some more story. I think when they open this map, then it should be, once again, you can grind as much story as you want, and then as you grind through, you can do all your dungeons and stuff, level those up. And then that was like, whatever, a month into the game or whatever. And then, of course, for the last month, we got the Snowfield. And once it unlocked, you could do all of the story in it, which was great, except for the final dragon. You had to wait 2 weeks for that, which that was good because then you were like grinding out your adventure exploration, so you'd be ready to fight the dragon. I do feel like this section was a little bit shorter than the others, just because you only did the 2 weeks here, and I don't even know if it was a full 2 weeks with the dragon. It just didn't seem very long, so I wouldn't mind that being extended. And then my other issue with this area is, once we got to the dragon, all of this map became worthless. There's nothing you can come in here and do. If we fast travel here, I'll show you that you get some energy to do stuff in here, but you can't even use it because there's nothing to spend the energy on. So that was kind of pointless. I think they should have left these dungeons open, kept the fights that they had rotating in, and even if they didn't give you anything, which I think minor rewards for doing it daily would have been nice, even if it didn't continue to go towards the dragon, just something minor to give you incentive to play it would have been good, because it was fun fights. I enjoyed trying to push them higher and higher, and then they took it away and I couldn't do it. Now the dragon's done, and then that's my issue with the dragon. My server killed the dragon. Now you can't even go into it at all. I was finally like getting a good necro team built that I wanted to show you guys in here, and now I can't because I can't go in there and do the fight. When I was initially doing the dragon, my necro team was my worst. I was only hitting like 3 mil. I built a new legendary out. I got a decent little setup that I had going with it. I'll show you guys what I was doing with them. I had him set up like this right here, so it gave him tons of accuracy, and man, this guy was just pumping out debuffs and laying it on the dragon, and my necro team went from a 2.5 to 3.5 mil damage team to a 10 mil damage team, and then I wanted to try to refine that team. Now I can't because we can't go in there. So I think that should be changed for the next season. Once it opens, even if we kill it and they stop giving us rewards for it, we should still keep being able to fight it. So as far as the full setup for the season, I liked it. I enjoyed pushing through. I enjoyed the content that they did give us. I just like that, or I don't like that once we finished this content, it was done. That was kind of pointless to me. Now, getting over into the arena, I did 5 fights this morning just to see how it's going right now. I haven't been doing arena like at all for a while, a few weeks. I've just stayed in the same spot basically for the last month. Yeah, there's a lot of issues with the arena. The arena, I mean, if you're free to play, it's really, there's nothing much you can do in here. You're gonna get destroyed, which that's the way these gacha games go. I'm okay. I get that. At the reset beginning of season, we'll be able to fight and get some arena points, and then after the reset, you're basically gonna fall where you're gonna be because the play players are gonna have just way better champions, way better gear. My issue with the arena is that when you go into the fight, you're going to have lots of troll teams. And the reason these troll teams exist are because they don't allow us to control our arena teams. So I'm just going to show you 2 legendaries, my full team. Let's see. I took off equipment. We'll just drop this back on real quick, but just so that you can see what I'm talking about and why I don't like it. Basically, what's going on with the arena right now is I can't change when they do their attacks. I can't target anyone. So with this team, for instance, I'm going to automatically lose no matter what. Because what they do is they have this healer and they have this guy who does a debuff that blocks damage on himself. If I could time my attacks out, I could use Dane to block those, to remove them, and I could keep damaging him down to kill him. Or I could target the healer, kill the healer, then kill the tank. But because I cannot target anyone, I'm in an endless loop of I take the health down, he blocks damage, he heals him up, and we just keep this cycle going until the time runs out. It's ridiculous. That needs to change. We need to be able to control our teams. The devs made the comment that it's because they're trying to make the fight fair, so they want it full auto, but it doesn't make the fight fair because that allows people on the defensive teams to just make troll teams like that you're just not able to beat because there's no way to counteract all of the healing that they're doing no matter what your teams are basically. So to me, that part is just ridiculous, and you'll see quite a few teams that are just tons of healers. Like you got healer, block damage. This guy's a support. I don't know exactly what he does. Maybe there's some heals in there. Like you see stuff like that on a lot of teams, and it's kind of annoying. Some of these teams in here I think I could beat, but I don't know. It's just really annoying in the arena. I think we should be able to control our teams if we're going to be able to push up. It's not giving the defense a disadvantage. It's just kind of evening the playing field because they're the ones who get to dictate what you have to do to fight them. So that's my thoughts on the arena. Definitely need some improvements in there. The events, during the first 2 months, we were getting tons of events that gave us lots of good rewards. Right now that we only have the training events going on. When the last area unlocked, the snowfields, they stopped giving us events. I don't know why. They were good sources of resources. It was pretty much the only place I was getting legendary scrolls guaranteed whenever they would pop up in there, and epic scrolls. Now we just don't have them. So devs, please, next season, keep the events going all the way through the season. I don't know why we stopped that. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Although, I did just notice that this says, where is it at? It says through September 20th, so maybe that's going to be our release for next season. I don't know. That'd be cool. Now to the heroes. The heroes are really good in this game. So if you're free to play, you're only going to get 1 legendary for free. And then if you get lucky with the horn, you'll get 1. And then whatever you get from gold dice, which like I said, we're going to be pushing at least 3 legendaries with that, maybe more. So by the end of a season, that's not too bad. But basically, that means you're going to have to round out your team with these epics and rares. I will say in this game, the champions feel really good. Like, I really enjoyed everyone that I've leveled up. They all have good, like, points to them, good places to use them. So I'll do a video that goes over my epics and rares, which ones I thought were really worth it. There's probably other really good ones in here that I just didn't get around to leveling. I just didn't have the time right now to keep grinding. Got too much going on to grind everyone up and try everyone out. So I just tried out the ones who I was trying to fill holes in my teams. Basically, the way I built teams is I picked out a legendary that I made a team around, or I picked out epics that I liked that worked good well together. Like for a while, I used these two together. And then I just used the rest of the slots to use these rares to fill in those slots for me, and that's how I would build out and round out my teams. But even the rares in this game had really good jobs to do. There's some rares that do healings that, like this Imperial Warrior, she's a common, she does heals, and for her faction, she's pretty much the only healer that you're gonna get between her and this guy. And there's not really any other healers from what I looked at. So sometimes your rares and commons might be filling out slots that those factions don't have anyone to cover for you. Now there might be legendary healers. I haven't really cared to go through all of them. Like I think this one's a healer. But as far as the epics go, this guy does some revives, but I don't have him. This guy is more for damage, no healing. So I mean, I didn't have anything else to cover up the heals on my team. This one doesn't do healing. And I don't know about this guy. Yeah, no healing. So I mean, for some of these factions, your rares might actually be doing roles that you don't have anywhere else in there. So building those two worked out really well for me because I wasn't getting that anywhere else. So even if you're pay to play and you have all the legendaries unlocked, there still may be champions that you need to fill in some holes until they add more champions in the game. So that's pretty good. But anyways, guys, this video has been going on for a while. I just wanted to get a few thoughts out there that I have for the overall play of the game. Like I said, there's a lot that needs to be improved, but also I got to give them props on they made a good game. The story was fun to play through. The dungeons are really fun to try to push up. I've had really fun building teams for these dungeons, trying to play around the mechanics, and then even on some of them, trying to ignore the mechanics and just build power teams to go through them. Feywilds is a lot of fun to push, which I need to go and push that. And then down here we get this extra little dungeon where you can only use the one faction type. I'm stuck on this one. I need to go push these up now that I have better teams and gear for them. But they're fun to try to push through and just get as high as you can. And dungeons were all pretty good, so give them props on all that stuff. I give them props on the champions. The champions are really fun to play around with. Epics, rares. I think rate-wise, we're gonna get plenty of legendaries as free to play, so I'm good with that. Especially when I compare it to games like Raid and other ones that, Raid. I think I played for 4 or 5 months before I got my first legendary. So for people who complain about that, just remember, if you play those other games, you've been putting up with that for a long time. Just saying, in this game, at least the epics and rares, all of them are pretty good, so you can't go wrong with building any of them. Now, they're not all super OP, but like every single one that I built all 4 of these guys. They all have a use. Horus is pretty much a cornerstone of my tank and all my teams. Dane is my attacker or debuffer for all my fire teams, playing one of the roles. Brody has a niche use in one of the dungeons that I never regretted building him for. And then this guy is the only one that I didn't build, but I have my clanmates who built him, and she plays a really good role in some of their teams, and I can see where they fit in. So I mean, all the epics and rares have spots they fit in. That's pretty cool. I really enjoy that. And I hope they keep that up whenever they add the new champions. But anyways, that's enough of me blabbering. Hopefully someone gets some enjoyment out of this video. Y'all can see what to expect for the next season, and hey, y'all have a good one.